For billions of years, animals have played an indispensable role in human life, and in this world each different animal corresponds to a god. The divine beasts will grant their blessings and powers to all of humanity when they reach a certain age. Today, that important event also took place. Sophie officially inherited the power of one of the thousands of divine beasts. Her classmates didn't like her much because of her red hair. The main female character also drew the card reserved for her due to a lack of self-confidence, so she wanted to draw the mole god, because that way she could stay in the dark. But fate had Sophie choose the card of the gorilla god, completely opposite to her personality. When it was break time, her classmates also gathered around to ask the main female character which card she had received. Carissa, leader of the girls, also didn't like our girl, so she was always bullied. Everyone thought that whatever she chose, it wouldn't be as good as the blondes. Fortunately, at this moment, a popular senior came to the school from outside, so it attracted attention. Taking that opportunity, the main female character slipped away to another place to have lunch at this prestigious royal school for the children of nobles. It's incredibly vast here. Students are trained in everything under the sun, so they don't need to worry about their future. Sophie has been studying for a while. Sophie realized that the boys would try to build relationships so that after graduation, they would have someone to support them. As for the young ladies, they chose for themselves a path that was easier. Any handsome guy from a powerful family, they would marry. The hierarchical system here is determined by the social status of the family, because she is only the daughter of a count from a remote region. That's why the main female character is often bullied. Moreover, she doesn't have anyone to hang out with. She always just stays alone in a corner. She was about to take out an apple to eat. Unexpectedly, with a light squeak, the apple was crushed. Nothing left at all. Although she received immense power from the gorilla, but she couldn't control it yet. Since receiving the blessing until now, she has accidentally broken many things. After talking to the headmaster, he was also shocked by the main female character's card. He said this is a very rare ability, almost no one achieves it. He himself has been in the profession for many years, but this is the first time he has seen someone draw a gorilla card like this. According to records, it's so rare that it only appears once every 55 years in one person. It's rumored that the blessing from the god gorilla is the strongest among combat abilities. Physical strength is 7 times that of a human. Her grip strength is also terrifying, over 500 kilograms. One squeeze and it's instant death. No questions asked, because she possesses such a powerful blessing. That's why she was invited for a talk. While she was thinking, suddenly a small squirrel ran up to beg for food. Sophie likes cute things like this, so she gave it her cake. In the afternoon, after school ended, she went to see the headmaster to ask what was wrong. He said there was an invitation to recruit her by the royal knights. She wouldn't have to join immediately, however. This is a good opportunity to develop. Besides, she still has to pass the entrance exam. If she passes, she will have to gain experience as a knight apprentice. The main female character also asked why it was her, because she didn't like it. The headmaster smiled and said that someone with the gorilla's blessing naturally belongs to the warrior class. It would be a waste to have that much power and do nothing. In the past, people like her were all the same. She was like, if this is a dream, please let me wake up. It's so miserable. A royal knight sounds truly noble, however, it's too prominent for someone who is insecure. Now, if she refuses and her parents find out, she will definitely be kicked out of the house for wasting a good opportunity. Defying an order from the kingdom would also lead to imprisonment. She reluctantly agreed, temporarily requesting the teacher not to tell anyone about her ability. Okay, you can rest assured about this. The teacher is very tight-lipped. He also wished his student success. Outside in the garden, she saw the bread had been eaten. Sophie thought the squirrel had eaten it all. She herself was also having a headache, because her peaceful life was about to be turned upside down. To prevent that from happening, she thought on the day of the exam, she would pretend to fail, and that would be at nights, of course, must be chosen carefully, so she just needed to act useless. There's no way she would be chosen. A few days later, the main female character also went to the exam location by herself. Coincidentally, she saw a miserable old man struggling with a cart of goods. The wheel was broken, and there was no one to help. With her compassionate nature, as if loving others as herself, Sophie thought she could help thanks to the power of the gorilla god. However, she didn't want to stand out. After a moment of wrestling with her conscience, finally the main female character decided to help. Unfortunately, with one hand, after finishing, she got lost. She didn't know where to go. While sitting sadly, suddenly a young man came up to ask. The special thing was that he was incredibly handsome, making Sophie mesmerized. After a few seconds, she also said she was lost, hoping for help. After knowing she needed to go to the training area of the royal knights, he pointed in that direction, so she thanked him and left immediately. The young man saw that and called her back, then used a handkerchief to wipe her face. I thought he was going to drug and kidnap her, but the feeling of being cared for by a handsome guy was truly amazing. Not only that, he also asked to see her again later, but Sophie's mind was in the clouds, so she didn't hear. Finally, she arrived at the training area. There were many candidates here, making the main female character shy because she didn't know anyone. She wanted to go home right now, but she still had to try to fail the test first. Only then could she achieve the life she had always wanted. Now she just hoped the exam would start quickly because she was so shy. Right at this moment, a group of people in royal attire walked in. Sophie realized the guy who had shown her the way earlier was the examiner. The young man also thanked everyone for being there today. He also introduced himself as Louis. The candidates called this young man the youngest knight. His aura was completely different from the others here, although their ages weren't that different. The first test also began. They would test each person's acceleration ability when signaled. The contestants would have to run 100 m to the finish line as fast as possible. A young man confident in his legs volunteered to demonstrate. He introduced himself as Isaac. The examiner agreed and signaled the start. Immediately that friend dashed to the finish line in 10 seconds, astonishing everyone. Sophie thought to herself, if everyone here is like this, then I definitely can't pass later. It was her turn. Everyone was watching intently because of her prominent red hair and being female, so the boys also giggled at her appearance. Running in front of so many eyes like this was truly embarrassing, so she wanted to try to finish the test and forgot all about having to fail. As a result, the gorilla power in her body activated. Sophie did just that and broke through the city wall, which was wicked. Then she even looked scared after running past the finish line. The boys who witnessed this scene were completely shocked and still wondered if she was injured. The main female character felt her body was very light just now. It felt as if she could run forever to the ends of the earth. At this point, Sophie just learned that gorillas have a speed of around 40 kilometers per hour. Moving on to the next test, which is tower climbing and ziplining. Louis will time them as they slide down below. Looking at this scene, the main female character was truly speechless because she was quite afraid of heights. After reaching the top, she was also shocked because looking down from above was truly terrifying. The boys at this point were pushing each other to go first. Seeing this, a friend named Eddie demonstrated. With his abilities, he easily slid down without any trouble. His movements were quick and agile, accompanied by absolute confidence. Reaching a sufficient height, this young man directly released the rope and fell down quickly. While marveling at this person's ability, the female lead discovered that the young man, Isaac, although he ran fast, was very afraid of heights, even more than her. Feeling sorry for him, she also comforted him, saying she would go down first as a support to make him less scared. He would then follow, and that way they would complete the test. Being helped by a girl, the other young man regained his spirits, then felt he was truly pathetic for having to depend on a girl with weak legs and soft hands. The first part might be true, but the second part seems wrong. The two of them also got acquainted and became friends. He praised her name as very beautiful. Just like that, they rappelled down together in front of everyone. Although he tried hard, Isaac was still very scared. His friend advised him not to look down, so he closed his eyes and relied on the feeling in his feet to slide. Slowly, at this moment, a strong gust of wind suddenly blew, causing the young man to lose his balance. As a result, he fell with his safety rope broken. Witnessing this scene, Sophie used the gorilla's strength to grab her newfound friend. He also thanked her, while the female lead felt proud of her ability. Although she had to hold him with one hand, she didn't feel he was heavy at all. However, the incident continued when the hook holding the rope couldn't bear the weight of two people and came undone. Just like that, the pair fell straight down, endangering their lives. Fortunately, the gorilla's instinct activated. Unconsciously, the female lead shifted her position to carry Isaac, hand in hand, so that she would take all the damage. The impact force made the ground shake, but the other two were safe. Isaac, having been saved, was extremely grateful. He didn't know what to do to repay his friend. Everyone also started paying more attention to this pair. Louis had to come and announce that the test would continue, so they went to their separate positions. Sophia was called to another place because her hand was injured. In cared for like that, she looked again and indeed, it was bleeding. However, because she possessed the blessing of the gorilla god, she didn't feel any pain at all. Taking her to the infirmary, Louis also helped bandage her. Besides, he also saw that Isaac really liked this girl. Seeing her being so clumsy, the other young man also chuckled. Initially, the female lead thought this person, being an examiner, had to be serious, but it turned out he was quite easygoing.